Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for your daily dose of Dismal Disney.
Right, because if it was not Dismal Disney, I'd be having to be the... Here's a picture of me again.
Yeah, we don't want Geeky to go all Instagram wine mom on us.
No, because if they don't have pictures of themselves, whatever would they talk about?
Oh my god. Okay.
I need another one. I guess I need one of those ballet skirts to wear at every doorway at Disney.
You need your
Here I am. It's more of me. How about this angle? No one cares. Nobody cares.
Get your $600 Heidi Klum mouse ears, right?
No, I don't think they even did that.
Oh god.
Most
okay.
of the Instagrammers didn't do that because they couldn't afford it.
Instagrammers don't make money. Anyway, here we are. We're going to talk about Disneyland and Galaxy's Edge. Now, we haven't talked about Disneyland in a while because, you know, Disney World has kind of taken all the attention now with Galaxy's Edge opening there, with them having a fire sale to try to get people down there, and, you know, obviously the gondola crash. They had the Skyliner crash.
Which was a crash.
Oh my god, we have people... We'll talk about this. Let me do our little introduction first. We'll talk about this because there's some high strangeness Disney damage control going on regarding the Skyliner situation. It's batshit crazy. So before we get into the video, please subscribe to Clownfish TV if you have not done so already. We passed 65,000 subs this week. We've actually doubled our subs in the last like 2 months.
Yeah.
It's insane. Last 2 months, we have literally doubled our subs.
The website, our Disney website, the piratesandprincesses.net has just gone through the roof on hits.
We had one day where, and thank you guys so much, we had one day where we had 100,000 views in a day.
And we get way more views than we did on other sites.
Yeah, it's been absolutely crazy, and I'm really beginning to think that people they want honesty. They
don't want to see the shill. They don't want the twist. They don't want to see another picture of a woman in a doorway with a skirt on. They don't care.
Yeah,
it's just like, well, tell me about what's the best deal for this. Tell me what I should watch out for. You know, that's what they want to know.
Yeah, you can be fans of something and not be 100% on board with everything they do. And in this case, with Disney, they have made some serious missteps with Galaxy's Edge. The Skyliner was a crash. People tried telling us it wasn't a crash, but it absolutely was.
The vehicles, the gondolas, actually smashed into each other. In my article, if you go to the piratesandprincesses.net, and then one article, I actually did a separate article about it, where there was a first-person account of being in the blue car that got smashed.
Yeah, somebody was actually in there. We didn't think that somebody was in there, but they had
But they were not hurt, which is what's important.
Thank God. I mean, that's the most important thing. But yeah, they were actually in there. Disney's damage control, though, I've been out to other sites, and they were doing articles on it, if they even dared cover it. It seems like Disney is actually discouraging the media outlets that it controls from covering the Skyliner incident, or they're downplaying it.
Or they had to put it with a. Well, it wasn't us. It was the company that we got it from.
We have seen. Yeah, this is like, okay, so somebody gets food poisoning at Disney. It's wherever you bought the shake and bake from. It wasn't actually Disney's chefs preparing it next to the raw chicken or whatever. It's shake and bake's fault. We've seen sites that were like going out of their way to defend Disney like crazy. Okay, there was one site in particular, I won't name the site because I don't want to start anything, but they did an objective article on the Skyliner crash. It is a Disney site. This Disney site does have media access, I believe. And there was an anonymous comment from quote unquote Mickey that basically said, you better watch your attitude.
It wasn't a nice way, but that's kind of what it was saying.
It was kind of like, golly, this isn't Disney's fault. Disney has done everything they can do to be accommodating, and golly, it sure would suck if people got the wrong idea about Disney, wouldn't it? Coming from a person named Mickey. On their,
right. Now, I mean, to be fair, they did get it from a manufacturer and everything else. So, I mean, that would be, some of the fault would fall onto the manufacturer. And what happened, what my understanding was, a sensor didn't trip that should have tripped. Do you have that thing I sent you?
I don't have that one pulled up.
Basically, it was like a sensor should have gone off. And the sensor basically tells the cars behind it that there's a car in front of it. And apparently, the sensor didn't work the way it should have. And that's why the cars kept piling up onto each other. Now, that being said, it was a sensor, it was a technical malfunction. However, it was also a crash because you might have, a little mishap here and there with different vehicles like the monorail or whatever. But, except that one time or two times I know of, there's no crashing into other vehicles. People were in those cars crashing into other cars. And they got it stopped so the people that were out on the line were, because they come in very fast. When they come into the station, they go slow for you to load, but they kind of come in, I saw them, they come in a little faster than I would have thought.
The first time we saw them when they were testing them, we're like, God, those things are way faster than we thought they were.
Yeah, and they are quick, but they slow down for you to load. But they do come in kind of hot, and the sensor, if a sensor doesn't do its job, then this kind of incident will happen. And I don't care who this manufacturer's fault or Disney's fault, there's something they didn't think about, is that if a sensor fails again, this could happen again.
Well, this is what's interesting, because again, and they call it, Motley Fool calls it out as an accident.
It is an accident.
People kind of like, well, they had some unexpected downtime.
It's an accident. People were in the vehicles. Thank God that we know of. No one was hurt. No one was seriously injured. Doesn't mean no one was hurt at all. No one had serious injuries. And that's what we shall be thankful for. But go ahead.
Yeah, so there's no indication this is coming from Motley Fool.
Right, they don't know when it's going to open again.
Yeah, they don't know when it's going to open, but they said Skyliner will always be the mode of transportation that can leave you dangling in a tight gondola cabin for several hours the next time something goes wrong. Right. That is true.
Just like the monorails. They're on a track, but if it breaks in the middle, you might be sitting there for a while. They get you towed back, or they get somebody there to get you out. We can speak from experience. And, you know, the things are going to happen with these. You know, you have to expect that when you get onto it.
Yeah. So, look, we'll talk a little bit more about this later and how this figures into Disney World's attendance problems and what's going on at Disney World right now. First, we're going to go back to Disneyland, where all of the Galaxy's Edge drama started, where it was called a flop. And, you know, we kind of forgot about Disneyland. We've been covering so much at Disney World.
We usually cover Disney World more anyway, because that's
where we go
mostly.
You know, we go out to Disneyland when we can, but it's maybe once every other year or whatever. So Disneyland, the attendance did not pick back up. Despite all lifting the annual pass holder blackouts and all this other stuff, attendance is still down in Disneyland. This was posted 2 days ago. Disneyland, what is it like now that all pass holders can return? Disneyland continues to remain uncrowded after a brief midsummer attendance spike and lighter than expected crowds following the launch of Galaxy's Edge. So Galaxy's Edge seemed to have like totally killed Disneyland. They said it continued to remain uncrowded in September after lighter than expected crowds followed the launch of Galaxy's Edge and a brief midsummer attendance spike, according to data from a theme park tracking company. This comes from Touring Plans. They rarely talk about attendance numbers. No, they don't. And the only time I think Disney ever talks about numbers is when they can't hide them, or when they have something to brag about. But they never talk about well, we're down a little bit.
And always check. If they say we won an award or we did this, if you go actually look at the award, you might find out, yeah, they won in one category, but they didn't win anything else. Or other people like Universal beat them in more categories, but they won't tell you that. They'll just say, hey, look, we won. So always check that.
Yeah, it's like saying you won a race where everybody gets a participation medal.
Yeah.
You know, so Disney always looks. I mean, that's one thing we'll tell you just from our experience with Disney PRs. They always look for the positive, even if there isn't a positive. They make a positive.
Fall in line and spout off only fantastic, wonderful pixie dust magic. You are negative, and you are a problem.
You're negative.
You need to sit in front of a doorway and flip your hair.
All right,
You're
so
negative.
Disneyland doesn't talk about the numbers. They said that Touring Plans has a subscription service that you can create custom theme park itineraries, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is Len Testa, who I actually do trust. Len Testa, I think he's
They've been honest. They're usually pretty honest.
They're very blunt. He's very blunt. And, you know, he's a numbers guy. Len's a numbers guy. And he's not, you know, numbers don't lie. You know, Disney, well, depends. Ask the SEC, but for the most part, the numbers don't lie. Based on the lines for rides, it looks like attendance was up slightly at Disneyland, down slightly at California Adventure, and flat across both resorts. Touring Plans crowd calendar service, which predicts the attendance levels, uses a 1 to 10 scale. They're sort of the standard. Touring
right now,
standard.
I think sometimes it blows up if you use crowd calendars, because everybody's looking at the crowd calendars and they all get the same idea. Let's go when it's usually a 2 and then it becomes a 10.
Well, this is what happened, and I actually do think that the crowd calendars have caused problems, because we've seen people. We've seen crowded Februaries when typically February is not very crowded, but they said they anticipated crowd levels in the 9 or 10 range for the first 2 weeks of June because of Galaxy's Edge, but shockingly, the crowd level stayed in the 1 to 2 range. The crowds ticked up slightly during the final week of reservations, but only to the 2 or 3 level.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, if you're going then, that's great for you.
Yeah. So, you know, crowds were modest during the 4th of July weekend, which I heard it's usually one of the busiest times. That's when, historically, my family always went.
Yeah, you said normally it's 9 or 10 levels, and
yes,
7 or 8.
It is. Every time we went when I was a kid, we would go to Disneyland every summer. I lived, I split my time between Pennsylvania and Northern California. In the summers, I was in Northern California. We drive down the coast. We go visit my stepdad's family in LA, and then we would go to Disneyland. And it was always ridiculously busy because we always went the week of the 4th of July. That's when he took off work. And it was crazy, crazy busy. Every time I went, I remember waiting like 2 hours to get onto anything. So for them to be like a 7 or 8 is nuts. So they even brought back, they dusted off the Main Street Electrical Parade to try to get people in. Didn't work very well. So then they talked about the decline in attendance. They said that Disneyland crowds were expected to return when pass holder blackout dates lifted for August in SoCal. And we've heard this. People in the comments are like, oh my God, wait till they lift the pass holder blackout dates. Then everything is going to be better. And you'll see, Galaxy's Edge is a success. It's a huge success. The reason it's empty is because Disney is so good at hiding people.
Oh my gosh. But you know what the thing that gets me is? They're taking us pointing out factual information, obvious things, as us being negative and mean. And it's like, us saying the crowds are down and that they probably should have waited to open them until they had both attractions finished and stuff does not mean that we think Galaxy's Edge completely sucks and everything about it's garbage. What it means is that for what they've released and what they cut back to from what they initially planned, that affected the attendance, and I don't think that they put their best foot forward. Does that mean everything in it is completely suck and nothing in it's good? No, we never said that was the case. And I'm tired of people just, assuming that you hate Disney. No, actually love Disney. Still go to the parks, still buy their stuff. Hell, I just bought 2 bracelets this week. I got a problem. Still love stuff. I bought Star Wars stuff today, but it was classic Star Wars, but I bought it today.
Yeah, it was classic Star Wars. That's what most people are buying. That's what they're selling mostly. And
I'm going to talk about that later.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that, the Star Wars merchandise. In another video, we're going to talk about that. So, they said that it didn't happen. After they lifted the blackout dates, Disneyland crowd levels steadily declined during the last 3 weeks of August. They declined until they reached the 1 to 3 level.
1 to 3. Oh my gosh, that is so good for those who got to go, though. I mean,
I'm like, just hop on Pirates.
Those who got to go you. That's awesome.
The launch of Halloween Time and the return of Halloween Screams fireworks show helped modestly boost weekend attendance in September, but weekday crowd levels during the month have been in the 1 to 3 range, according to touring plans.
Well, dang, you guys, if you're local, go.
Wow. They said across the promenade, California Adventure saw the same downturn in attendance as Disneyland after the soft opening of Galaxy's Edge. Crowd levels at DCA stayed in the 1 to 3 range in June.
That's so nice.
They said it picked up in July and early August in the 6 to 8 range.
They got a few 9 to 10s. That's good.
California Adventure did. Yeah. Lifting of the annual pass holder blackout dates at Disneyland late August appear to have put a dent in California Adventure's traffic. September crowds at California Adventure have mostly been the 1 to 2 range. This is nuts.
That is nuts. But I mean, if you're going to go, this is really good news for you.
Yeah, so now's a good time to go to Disneyland because you're going to be able to pretty much walk on to everything. So we have, the LA Times talking about what works, what's missing, and what to fix, because again, they're talking about how, historically Disneyland attractions used to have 60-minute waits.
We've waited 60 minutes. We've waited for 60 minutes for Pirates.
Yeah, the lower than expected demand for Galaxy's Edge has been fueled by Disney CEO Bob Iger himself as much as it has been by any media account. Disney in August reported 3% dip. No, it's because Bob Iger's like, we don't have to advertise that people are just going to come.
He said it. He flat out said, we don't have to do anything. We just have to open it and say, hey, it's open, and we'll have more money than we can, what to do with.
Right, and he was bragging about basically how the money was just going to fall out of the sky.
Because everybody loves Star Wars.
Yet,
the merchandise, which we're going to talk about in the video, keeps coming out classic Star Wars. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, Star Wars is a damaged brand. It absolutely is a damaged brand. Now, let's go over to Disney World.
Oh my gosh, every other day it's another celebrity in Galaxy's Edge. Every day, Galaxy's Edge, celebrity. I'm like, nobody cares.
Well, that's what they're doing. Now, to be fair, I don't know what's going on today. It is extra magic hours. I went out and checked the wait times. Let's refresh this here. On laughingplace.com, you can check the wait times on attractions. And
you can also check it if you have the Parks app and things.
Yeah, so you can see Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run has a 70-minute wait. Which sounds like a lot.
Rock and Roller Coaster's 100 minutes.
Rock and Roller Coaster has 100 minutes.
Slinky Dog 90. Today is busy at Hollywood. These are busy wait times. 40 minutes for Star Tours is a big wait. Toy Story 85, 90 minutes. Slinky Dog. Usually you're going to wait an hour to an hour and a half for those ones anyway. Tower Terrace, usually that's not that bad though. It's really busy today.
Tower Terrace usually not.
But that's interesting to me. It's one of the biggest rides at the park, and it has one of the lowest wait times of the big attractions.
Yeah, and of course you get the people who are going to be like, that's because Disney's so good at pushing so many people through. And the reason you don't see people walking around is Disney Imagineers put all these little magical hidey holes.
That everybody's hiding in. They're
all hiding.
There.
So they all have their own personal adventure in the park. They're all hiding. They're not in the pictures. It's so big. Literally had somebody tell us this.
I did.
It's so big that nobody can take a picture of Galaxy's Edge and see a lot of people because it's just so big.
The Galaxy's Edge is
all
big.
Those people are just spread out all over the place.
Galaxy's Edge is large. I'm not gonna lie, it's big, but not big enough that that you would not see crowds in any picture. No. I think the Millennium Falcon, they're getting people through quickly, but. And it's more than we thought they were going to. We were worried it was going to be a problem when they said how many people per car and how many carousels they were having. But they are getting them through quicker than some of these other attractions. But I don't think it's.
So you can see what Flight of Passage is today. Flight of Passage is closed. Oh, well, I might explain. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that explains a lot.
If Flight of Passage is closed,
everybody might have headed over there.
Everybody's going to Hollywood to ride. Yeah, that explains it. Because usually Flight of Passage is the people eater. It eats, and yeah, the other rides aren't that bad. Dinosaurs down too. So, okay, figured it out, guys.
Well, Dinosaurs, is it being redone?
I don't know. Is it?
No, I think.
I don't know. I thought they were going to do. But if Flight of Passage and Dinosaur are both down, everybody's going to head over to Hollywood and go ride.
Maybe Dinosaur's just down temporarily.
But
they had it closed for Flight of Passage. That's weird.
Yeah.
So that means it's not coming back up today, is it?
I don't think so. I don't know.
That's strange. I don't know what's going on with that one.
So that might be what's going on. But they said over the weekend, now this guy is actually the guy who wrote. Now, he sort of like flip-flops a lot. Like before, he's like.
What's going to get the most hits today?
Yeah, it seems to be crowds are picking up. Yesterday, this is before the Skyliner crash. Yes, it was a crash.
It's an accident. Media's calling it an accident. It was an accident.
It's an accident. So they're basically talking about the long term, that it might be okay. Long term, please buy Disney stock. But then he says down here he has Disney stock. So do we. We don't want Disney to completely fail. But, just wait for Rise of the Resistance, guys.
I love Disney. I don't want Disney to fail at all. I just wish they'd listen to their customers and, try to at least even compromise in some way.
Well, that's just it. They don't listen. They used to listen. It used to be if you went to guest services and enough people complained, they fixed it.
Right.
Now they don't care. They have a plan of what they want to do. Look at Star Wars and Marvel fans. They've been going to the internet's guest services for years, and Disney just doubles down on what they're doing. They don't listen to the consumers anymore. They used to. So now he says that Disneyland was a fluke because it was sandbagged by limited reservations, the blocking out of most local pass holders.
But that was Disney's decisions.
That was their decisions. But you know what? They lifted those restrictions, and Disneyland is still slow. Like, people are not going. Galaxy's Edge is not the draw they thought it was. And he's just like, I saw plenty of people toting around $100 droids and $200 lightsabers. Just wait for this ride to open. It's going to fix everything. Everybody keeps saying this. But
I think it's going to help. I do.
Yeah, I think it's going to help.
I don't think it's going to fix everything, but I do, as long as they don't cut corners, if they deliver what they said they were going to deliver, I think Rise of the Resistance is what people are waiting for. I think it might, if it's as epic as they're being told it's going to be, I think that Rise of the Resistance could turn the tide somewhat. I don't think it's going to completely fix the situation, but I think it could help them, give them a little bit of an edge.
Rise of the Resistance and all the free food offers they've been doing could turn the tide. So, but this is the thing right here. So right after he writes that, he's basically like, he talks about how nobody's seriously injured.
Which is what's important.
But he said the real damage is to the platform's reputation. Skyliner's temporarily closed. People don't know when it's going to open. They probably have to do a complete inspection.
Well, they're probably, and then, but sensor, if it is just a sensor, who's to say that isn't going to happen again if just a sensor could go out?
Well, that's just it. They said there's no indication as to when it will resume operation. Even when it does, the stigma of the accident will linger.
6 days in.
6 days in. We're talking, and they tested it for months.
Well, that's what I'm saying. To be fair, it ran for months.
Ran for months.
I mean, and they had cast member previews, they had media and all that before it opened to the general public. But it was open to the general public for 6 days.
Well, yeah, but they didn't have that many people being pushed through it.
Right, not like
they didn't have the demands on it.
They didn't have the lines like they were showing.
So it was fine when it was, on display, but when you actually had to use it, it was like a display that like crumbles. It's all, duct tape and popsicle sticks. And that's kind of what happened. They said there's a lot riding on Skyliner's success. Disney World's iconic monorail gives guests a scenic tour of the Kingdom and Skyliner stretches, blah, 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 blah. They said Skyliner would eventually give the four resorts, it serves the wiggle room to lift their rates. That's what this is about. Caribbean Beach rates went up. We got the Riviera, the massively overpriced Riviera Hotel. Caribbean Beach went up. Pop Century went up. Pop Century, which used to be a value, it still kind of is a value, but it's gotten more expensive because of the Skyliner, you know, for sure. So yeah, this is a new way for visitors to get from the park. They said that they're talking about the Hogwarts Express. So the system wasn't perfect ahead of Saturday night's reputation smasher. They're calling it a reputation smasher. You're not allowed to use the word
smash because it didn't crash. You're just full of it. It was a technical malfunction that crashed a bunch of cars together.
Reputation malfunction. It's instead of a wardrobe malfunction, it's a reputation.
They have lots of reputation malfunctions lately.
Reviews were generally positive, but there's still some less than glowing opinions. Investors were already keeping a close eye on Disney's stateside resorts, given the surprising dip in attendance in the quarter ending in June. Heads have rolled. This is true. There's a big shuffle at the top, and then right after that, they have a major accident. Well, I'm sorry. I can't say it was a major accident. It was a crash. It was a minor inconvenience.
Because there was no blood, it's not major.
We did. That was we had somebody's like, because there's no blood, that's what a major accident is.
Doesn't it suck though? Because you've had the car smashed and hit by somebody else, that it's smashed the whole front end in, but there was no blood, so you didn't have a major accident.
Yeah, that's what the insurance company told me. They said unless you bleed, we're not giving you a check. We're not fixing the damage. That's how that works. So heads have rolled because Disney is, I think they are, I'm gonna be honest, I think they are in worse shape than they're letting on, because we are seeing panic with the prices.
We're seeing a lot of things that normally indicate to us who've been following this and been in the cogs of this machine. We're seeing things that indicate to us that, it's not going as well as they're trying to say. But they're not going to tell you that.
They're not.
Of course, what company is, to be fair? I mean, what company is going to tell you, hey, everything's on fire right now? They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to. And I mean, I don't think it's good business to tell you that. But I don't think it's also smart to pretend like things didn't happen either.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's just it. I mean, Disney now is in full freakout mode. They're going around, they're stomping down any dissenting opinion. Anytime we have any quasi practical or negative opinion of Disney, or just negative opinions of some of the stuff they've done, not the company itself or whatever, again, we are stockholders, we get all these rando accounts that show up, like no subscribers,
or they have like they're empty accounts, like there's no subs, no activity. They might have had it for several years, but there's nothing on it.
And we have
like 2 or 3 or something low number, like they don't interact much.
It's completely possible, given we know how Disney is when it comes to their reputation. It's possible that maybe there are some people being sent out to do damage control.
Well, I'm 100% sure we're being watched when people on Twitter are writing that they trust us and a couple other sites, and they're the ones they listen to. I'm sure that those are the ones that are being watched now.
Yeah,
we can't have that.
We can't have that.
Crap! She just pointed out that we didn't win first place in everything, just one category. Better stop her. She needs to be put in her place. She should only flip her hair and giggle and talk about pixie dust magic.
Yeah, this doesn't work anymore, Disney. If you want any marketing advice from this old dog, it is this doesn't work anymore. You might have fooled people for a couple of years, but it doesn't work anymore. You're going to have to get real with people for them to trust you again. And you're not getting real with people. They just see through the bullshit. People are smarter than you give them credit for. They see through
they're not just going to buy it because it's something that they know and love for years, because now they're knowing that just because somebody relaunches something, reboots something, does not mean it's going to be at the quality of what they know and love. And they're starting to realize this. So
yeah, so this is and this is, they're talking about the long-term damage. I mean, talking about Disney, which is doing damage, which is trying to dismiss people. And this is, I think, why Star Wars burned down, basically, is because they tried to dismiss legit complaints.
And I mean, and then they let things through that shouldn't have gone through. And now, would I ride the Skyliner if it's fit? Yeah, I'd ride the Skyliner. I mean, a lot of people are not going to. I would still do it because I know they're not going to open it again until they're 100% sure, because they cannot take any more reputation crashes. And reputation malfunction. So I would ride it, and it might tell people not to go to Disney parks. No, heck no. I'm like, right now, go to Disneyland. There, you can get right on to stuff. I recommend that highly. I'm just saying, be really smart about how you plan your trips, because the costs are creeping up, and I think it's going to get worse, not better. Watch for deals, but sometimes deals aren't actually deals. You have to check on that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you got 30% off, but it turns out, because the way they redid their system now, that 30% off might not be as good of a deal as if you waited a month and just get regular price. So, I think that's what's hurting them too. Is it's too complicated.
The ticket system. Yeah, when they changed that definitely hurt them. When they started nickel and diming people with the parking and stuff like that, that hurt them. I mean, it's just been a series of it's been dominoes. That
all
were set
mostly based on money decisions.
Made by Bob Iger and Bob Chapek. Yeah. I mean, I think
the money decisions are what's hurting them. But anyway, I'm just saying, definitely go to the parks. I like the parks. I still do. I'm trying to take crap for liking them, but I still like the parks. I still love a lot of Disney things and Disney properties. I love Star Wars, but only classic Star Wars, and even the prequels I care for more. So I'm just saying, don't let it stop you if you really want to go, but also understand, though, that what you're going to be told by the corporation might not be the truth.
Yeah, Disney wants everybody to go. They want everybody to go and pay full price.
The truth from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view. So I don't know. We'll see if things pick up. But they said, regarding the Skyliner, they said that it could be long-term damage because right out of the gate, the thing crashed.
Well, yeah, a sensor supposedly caused this whole thing. And if that's what's going on, that's what I'm hearing. It's a sensor.
Yeah. So this kind of killed off Rivers of Light too. They had problems with delays with Rivers of Light, and then it got a reputation for being a problematic show. It never became that popular, and that's like Galaxy's Edge. It becomes a self-perpetuating thing where, oh, it's a failure. Oh, I don't want to go. It's a failure, and they're trying to cover up that it's a failure, which makes me want to go even less and give them money even less.
I'm not going to call it a failure until I see Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's not doing well now, but I think until you have the whole picture, you really can't make that call.
Yes.
If you're going to be fair.
So I think in regards to Disney, we've been talking about this. There's a definite need for more honesty with people who are parks fans who maybe don't buy into all the magical Mickey pixie dust encrusted fever dream.
People aren't buying into all the Instagram influencers anymore either.
So we're kicking around the idea of on Pirates and Princesses maybe opening a forum that could be a more objective forum, because I'm seeing a disturbing pattern, which is anytime there's anything that could even be remotely construed as negative on a lot of these Disney boards, which are run by websites that are frankly on Disney's media list, Access Media list, those posts get...
Or sponsored by travel agencies.
It's travel agencies who want to sell trips, so the posts get taken down. The comments get taken down.
It's toned down to the tune of, book a trip.
Yeah.
That sucks, but book a trip.
Yeah. And we're seeing a lot of this. I mean, even a lot of the agencies, the websites, the Disney websites are in full-on panic mode. Maybe Pirates and Princesses needs to be an alternative. Maybe
that's what we're trying to do.
Maybe we need to give people a place to go where they can, still geek out about stuff they like, but be honest.
We have pragmatic, elements. Here's the thing: we hear from cast members often. A lot of cast members write us, and they're current cast members, and they're talking about, or family or friends of cast members, and they're talking about things, and they're like, "You guys are spot on. You need to keep doing what you're doing." And people are always like, "No, you're lying. You're haters. What do you?" I still love. What do you know? You've probably never been to the parks. That's still my favorite one. That's still my favorite one.
Bitch, please.
But we hear from people like all the time, at least several times a week. And it's like, I know we're not wrong about a lot of this stuff. It's just, you're not going to see that because they're not going to admit to it.
And they're cleaning it up. Like I said, you go to, it's gotten crazy on message boards even. Like if you're even remotely negative, if it's not the message board owners themselves calling people out.
Negative, by negativity, I'm meaning if you're remotely honest. And it's saying, wait, this is concerning because you used the concerning word. Negative.
It's the cult.
It's like, okay.
It's the cult of Disney. Like, it's almost like Disney weaponizes their fans to go out and eat their own peers. Like if you step out of line, the Mickey Mafia is going to come after you.
It's like those zombie movies where people pretend to be zombies and don't get eaten, but as soon as someone realizes you're a zombie, they all fall, or you're not, they all fall.
Yeah, they want fresh brains.
It's like that. It's like, you're like, brains, and then you trip up, and then they're like, they're fake, get them,
or they live, they can see. So I think there needs to be an alternative. We're trying to figure out what, because we still do like talking about theme parks, but we like to keep it real. And there's just not nearly enough of that out there. So that might be something that we spin off of Clownfish TV, maybe as some kind of a forum.
You mean on
for
PNP?
Disney. On Pirates and Princesses, but from Clownfish TV. So we'll see. We're looking at options. We're definitely going to bring the podcast back. I think there's a time and a purpose for it now because everybody is on the take. I think. I mean,
well,
I'm being
not
honest.
everybody, but
Most well, the outlets that aren't on the take are getting slammed by Disney proper now, like WDW News Today, which is a travesty that the Walt Disney Company, multi-billion-dollar ridiculous corporation, feels the need to just call out one fan site.
But you know what I think is
and
funny?
Smack them down.
It's like just like the Joker movie. The more they tell people not to go there because don't look at them, don't look at them, they're negative. The more people are going to go because they're like, well, why don't you want me to see it? Oh, it's kind of like that. So.
That's exactly what's going on. So, the more you tighten your grip, Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
The more star systems you're going to lose. So, we're going to wrap this one up. We're going to keep an eye on the situation here on both coasts.
Yeah, if you want to go to Disneyland, go, because right now it seems
book a
like
flight to go out there.
Those are amazing crowd levels. So I'm just like, I mean, not for Disney, but for you, the guests, that's great.
Yeah.
And and Disney World, it's still down compared to what it normally is. I mean, it looks a little busy. It's picking up off and on between now and New Year's. It always is. Because they have the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot, and they have a lot of the special parties and things. So it does get busy this time of year. Not even counting Galaxy's Edge. So keep that in mind. But definitely go if you want to.
Yeah, definitely go. It is a good time to go to Disneyland. I don't think you're gonna have to wait long to get on anything. So, all right, so we're gonna wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. Check out piratesandprincesses.net. That's Geeky's objective, honest Disney blog. I'm going to look into maybe setting up a forum on that blog where people can, talk legit opinions without backlash. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up.
Right. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.